Hey, Brandon here. Welcome to the channel and thanks for tuning in. Have a 2025 three-round rookie mock draft for you today. Going to be joined by my podcast co-host Jason DiRienzo, and we are going to go through our top, really 36 players, I guess, that we are going to be drafting. These are the players that you're going to be drafting next year in the 2025 rookie draft. So if you play Dynasty, you play Fantasy, you're looking for a YouTube channel out there that's going to give you an early look at the 2025 draft class, hit that subscribe button. A lot of the players that we're going to talk about today, we've done detailed film like reviews and scouting reports on this channel. So peruse around the channel and you'll find a lot of detailed shows on the players we're going to talk about. I came up with the landing spots for this. We only do mock drafts with landing spots on this channel. So it's going to be a fun exercise, hopefully to introduce you to some players that maybe you haven't heard about yet. And please leave some comments as well. I'd like to hear what you have to say about our landing spots and the draft in general. Let's get to the show. I said, come on, man, before the season starts, college football, we got to do like at least one more rookie mock. So that's what we did today. That's what we're going to do tonight. We're going to do a 2025 rookie mock draft, 3 rounds, okay, with all your favorite Devy guys that you know the names of. I came up with the landing spots. I think you made a couple adjustments. As
Actually,
well,
you did a great job. I think I only told you 1 or 2. So
yeah,
you nailed a lot of these.
and what we wanted to do too is really kind of talk about putting them in good positions, right? We want to put them in positions where they're kind of like favorable landing spots, because landing spots matter, as we know, right? So we're gonna have some fun with that. So it's early. It's I want everyone to keep an open mind. You know what I mean? This is very early. You can see on the draft board, if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the draft board on the screen right now. And you'd be able to see the landing spots. You can kind of pause it and kind of take a look. For you guys listening on the podcast, I mean, we're going to name the landing spots as we go through this, but you can check out the YouTube show later as well, which should be pretty cool when it's posted. So, but I came up with these landing spots. I just wanted to have some fun with it and put them in favorable situations, right? And and then again, if you're watching on YouTube, leave a comment. If you're on the podcast, you shoot me an email from the Slack chat if you're a dashboard subscriber and stuff like that, and let me know what you think about. I posted this on X too and got some comments of your favorite landing spots and your not so favorite landing spots. But as we know, like last year, Xavier Legette, and was a first-round pick. Ricky Pearsall was a pick. So when you're looking at this screen, you're probably thinking, there's going to be some guys that you guys think are higher. There's going to be some guys you think are lower, but it's all going to change. It's all very early. Nobody at this time knew last year that Penix and Bo Nix were going to be early to mid day 1 draft picks, right?
Right.
Yep. So it's going to have some fun. Things will change quick. So I guess let's get it. I guess the only last thing to talk about is really the format. It's going to be a super flex PPR tight end premium. We're going to do 3 rounds. I've been super nice to you the last couple mock drafts. I've given you the first pick.
I'll give you that.
And I said to myself, you know what? I'm tired of being such a nice fella, and I'm going to take the first pick, which actually
time to be selfish.
It's time to time to be selfish, but sometimes it's hard to be put into that position. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah. Because there's like 1 or 2 guys that you want to do. So all right, so I'm going to select Carson Beck. We gave him a landing spot of going to the New York Giants. So that's assuming Danny Dimes kind of falters again this year and they're ready to turn the page. They're not having a very good season. They got their wide receiver 1 there with Neighbors, which will be great. But if Carson Beck is, right now he's being mocked in a lot of mocks on ESPN and Brugler from The Athletic and stuff like that, the first QB off the board. And you and I have been fans of Carson Beck, on this podcast and, for quite some time. So I'm going to go with Carson Beck. I think he's like right now the safest. I think he's got underutilized athleticism too. I think the guy's got some sneaky ability to, get some yards too with his legs that maybe we haven't seen yet, but I'm going to take Carson Beck going to the Giants.
I think that's a great pick, honestly. I think Beck could do really well. And if he fits that particular type of system that the Giants like to run, so I think that'll work out really well. I always, there's a couple guys here that are at receiver that I would love to take right now. And I always do this where I gotta value the quarterback position, in a
Yeah.
super flex tight end premium type of format. And as much as I have my concerns, Shedeur Sanders going to the Raiders in the first round of the 2025 NFL draft is just too intriguing to pass up. So with the second pick, I'm gonna take Sanders going to the Raiders. I think he's got a nice surrounding cast around him. I like what they've done with Brock Bowers, Michael Mayer, Devontae Adams is still there. Have to think that they're going to continue adding weapons around there. And Zamir White just looks like he's ready to take off and be that RB1. So a lot can change, but I like what he has to play with on offense, and that could help elevate his development. So Shedeur Sanders in at second overall to the Raiders.
Yeah, it's going to be a real controversial discussion. I mean, there's people
Oh,
you love the
God, yeah.
guy or you hate the guy or you
Yeah.
don't think he's got the skill, you think he's got the skill. So it's going to be a big season for him. I know his dad will be happy. He's in warm weather in Vegas because I think he's already made comments. He doesn't want his son playing in the cold. So that's one of the reasons I gave him to the Raiders because yeah, I figured maybe New York Giants might be a little too cold up there. But anyway, I like that. It's going to be
Uh,
really interesting to see if what kind of season he has. But a super flex
for
league, you're
sure.
absolutely right. You got to value those quarterbacks, right? So I'm going to take
Right.
the third pick here, and all my teams that have been successful in Dynasty, I've always had solid wide receivers, right? So I'm going to be looking at
Mhm.
taking a wide receiver here. I'm not going to go to the well with another quarterback, and I'm going to take Tatoria McMillan. You and I just did an all 22 film breakdown and put it on the YouTube channel and shared it with my dashboard subscribers, and broke his film down, and we really liked what we saw. He's arguably
Yeah.
the wide receiver 1, 4, 2 for most people out there, so I think this is a pick most people are going to expect. Sorry, I did not give you the landing spot going to the New England Patriots. I'm assuming they're going to play Brissett, and I'm a Drake May guy, and I hope Drake May sits for a year, and I still think he's going to be a good quarterback in the future. They go out and
Mhm.
get him a true number one alpha to grow together with. So I take a T Mac here with the third pick in the first round.
Yeah, I think that's great. They just took Polk and then who's the Javon Baker. So you add McMullen to that crop, all of a sudden, Patriots have some receivers to play with here with Drake
That's
May.
right.
So that's a nice pick. At pick number 4, I'm gonna go with Luther Burden going to the Arizona Cardinals. Luther Burden and Marvin Harrison Jr. Good Lord, can you just even imagine that? So
Mhm.
it's going to elevate whatever quarterback is there. If it's Kyler Murray or somebody else, we'll see how Murray does this season. But I really like this. I think Harrison's going to open things up for Luther Burden, who's a very versatile player. You get him in space, he could do a lot of damage. Got that physicality, that Malachi Corley type of yak ability. So I really like this pick, and I think he's going to benefit going into that Cardinals offense.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, unexpected. I think the first four picks are pretty chalky, probably. People thinking McMillan and Burdens is where it starts to get fun, I guess, or we're
Mm-hmm.
getting close to having it get fun, where it could really like go in any direction. But with the fifth pick in the first round, I'm going to take Ashton Genty, running back. I gave him a landing spot of the Chargers in round 2. I mean, the guy is, again, we're looking at fantasy football running backs. We want guys that catch the ball out of the backfield. The kid's a former wide receiver, now turned running back. Is just explosive. And, he's my RB2 right now in the class, thinking maybe I'll get my RB1 in 2 picks from now. But Genty going, to Harbaugh, how Harbaugh, what kind of offense that dude likes to run.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to want to run and run and run some more. So he could just be a PPR animal with the Chargers. So I'm taking him here with the 5th pick.
I love this pick. I love Genty. He's currently my RB1. I think he would just flourish in that Chargers offense. So I love that pick. And talk about flourishing in an offense. With pick number 6, I'm going with Marion Hampton to the Cowboys. Now, Hampton
Ooh.
is not my RB2, but this is opportunity based, and this is
Yeah,
where the landing spots really provide the true value of a player because it's
right.
opportunity and skill set. I like the skill set of Hampton, but he would normally not go this high for me. But the Cowboys, who need a running back, don't really like signing free agents. It seems like, other than Ezekiel Elliott on those small little, salaries. I really like this fit. I think Hampton is that physical running back with, you know, pretty good athletic upside for his size, and good pass catching ability. To me, that just screams fantasy points in the Cowboys offense that likes to run the ball. So I really like this pick with Hampton at pick number 6.
Landing spots matter in fantasy
They
football.
matter. Yeah.
Opportunity matters. So don't can't argue with your justification for that selection there. With the seventh pick in the first round, I'm going with my RB1 of the class, Quinshon Judkins. I give him a landing spot of the Titans. I think Pollard's a jag when it's all said and done, and
Mhm.
I think that backfield is kind of wide open. Spear, who's the other guy there? The other
Tajay Spears is still
Spears,
there.
yeah,
Yep,
Spears, right. Yeah. So he was,
yep,
2 years ago as a rookie. He could be that, exciting part of that backfield. And maybe I
yeah.
think Pollard's on a 1 year deal or something. And then, you put Quinshon Judkins in there. Tennessee has always kind of liked to run the ball, even though they got new coaching in there and everything. But he's my RB1. I'm going to take him here. I think he wouldn't last on the board very long.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick too. Tajay Spears and Judkins, they could just be that thunder and lightning, and
Hmm.
I think that would bode well for that offense. At pick number 8, I'm going with Evan Stewart to the New Orleans Saints. Chris Olave is there. Man, they need a quarterback to really come in and help out. But I think Evan Stewart, from what you and I have seen from the film breakdown that we've done, he's a space creator. He understands the art of route running, how to get
Hmm.
open, how to manipulate. He can be a versatile weapon playing the outside, the inside. So I'm not too concerned about him taking too much away from Olave because I actually think they'll complement each other. The only thing I don't like is the fact is that Olave and Stewart are smaller in stature. So that's the only thing. But I believe in the talent, I believe in the opportunity, and I think he could absolutely flourish in this offense. So Evan Stewart to the Saints at pick number 8.
Yeah, he would have certainly, I think, an opportunity down there. And
Hmm.
I agree with you. The film that we watched, I think we both think he's definitely one of the better wide receivers in the class. I'm going to take a receiver here at the ninth pick in the first round, taking Amika Ibuka, going to the Buffalo Bills. All right, playing, Josh Allen. They need wide receivers up there. I mean, this is a
Hmm.
landing spot, marriage made in heaven. Just the way Ibuka plays, I think he would just be getting peppered with targets in the short and intermediate parts of the field. I
Yeah.
want to watch this year. Watching him, I'd like to see him with a little bit more vertical ability to his game. But he was
Mhm.
big. He was nicked up last year. Big season for him. He comes out and puts up 1,000 yards. Hopefully the quarterbacks can get him the ball. But the landing spot at Buffalo is just that's going to raise his stock even higher than maybe it already is.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, you got Keon Coleman on the outside. You put a book
Yeah.
in the slot, and then you got what Khalil Shakir maybe on the other side.
Right.
That's great with Josh Allen. Oh, it's money. Pick number 10. This is where I'm going to take my first tight end, and again, it's
Mm.
opportunity. It's landing in the right spot with a coach that is familiar with the skill set. I'm going with Michigan tight end Colston Loveland to the Chargers, teaming back up with Jim Harbaugh. Jim Harbaugh. See, a lot of times I'm concerned about the usage based on what I saw at college, right? Like JJ McCarthy, if he landed with the Chargers, I'd be like, geez, I'm not sure if we're going to see much. We didn't see much from Michigan, but we saw the way that Colston was used in that offense. And knowing that Harbaugh understands the skill set and how to deploy him properly makes me feel
Mhm.
even that much better. And Chargers tight ends have done really well in terms of providing fantasy points in the past, and that could continue. So I really like this pick in a tight end premium format. I
Right.
feel really good about Colston Loveland going to the Chargers at pick 10.
Yeah, and if it wasn't a tight end premium, most likely you wouldn't have taken Colston
That
Loveland
would not
here.
have happened. No.
So because it is a tight end premium, these tight ends might go a little early. So all right, we do play
Right.
in a super flex. All right. And I gave there's two more quarterbacks that got round one draft capital. I kind of projected them to middle to late, like not super high. And so I'm going to take Quinn Ewers here again, going to the Dallas Cowboys. The Dallas Cowboys are going to pluck him, the hometown guy, the Texas, college player headed and staying in the state and playing for Big D. It's like a match made him. We're gonna have to see a lot more consistency in the ball placement.
Mhm.
But there's a lot of people out there thinking Ewers is gonna have a good season and he's gonna do enough. This time last year, we never thought Bo Nix was going to be a first round pick, and if you did, you're fooling yourself. So don't
You're
say that
so
you
full
thought,
in
right.
yourself.
You're fooling yourself, right?
Yeah.
So you never know. Yours is, we don't know what he can do. It all depends on what kind of season he has this year. But if he
Right.
does a great season and he is drafted in the first round playing Superflex, you can't let him get out of the first round.
God, no. And I totally understand this pick. He would probably have been my pick if he was here too. I'll tell you what, if he can't do it with the receiver group that he has, with Kelvin Banks, who's a left tackle that should go top five, with Cedric Baxter in the back, like the Ferrari he drives on offense, if he can't get it done, I'm pretty sure it's got to be over for Ewers at that
Yeah,
point.
yeah,
All right, pick 12, last pick in the first round. I'm going with Trevor Etienne to the Giants. Etienne, what did he get? He got third round draft capital, right? So it's a bit of a
yeah,
stretch, but I'm looking at this and I just see a wide open opportunity, an
yeah.
explosive running back that's going to Georgia that could absolutely prove himself. I really like what he could possibly be at the next level based on what we saw of his skill set and his, profile when he was at Florida. Just really impressive. Kind of fell off a little bit, because the "What have you done for me lately" crowd is kind of
Hmm.
screaming, I'm not sure about ETN. Well, I'm sure about the opportunity. I'm sure about how the coaching staff uses the running back position, and I'm sure about his skill set. So I really like this pick, getting him at the last pick in the first round.
Yeah, I can't wait to see his season at Georgia. I hope he rushes for
Me neither.
1,000 yards because the
Me
guy's got
too.
lateral. He's got some real good lateral movement, and
He's so
he
explosive.
just needs to he needs to get the ball a lot. I want to see what he can do as a bell cow. All right, so that rounds
Yeah.
out our first round, everyone. So we're going to go into the second round, and I've got the pick, and I'm going to go with a running back that I am really good. He's my RB3 right now, and that's Damian Martinez from Oregon State with a landing spot I gave him to the juicy Baltimore Ravens. We come on, man. We all love our Baltimore Ravens running backs, but I like Martinez's skill set a lot. I think this guy is one of the bigger backs in the class. He's got that lateral movement, the physical toughness I look for. Decent receiving profile, but the guy I think has really good vision and navigation, and the landing spot is
Mhm.
really good. So I'm taking Damian Martinez here at the first pick in the second round.
This is not the running back I thought you would take, man. You totally sniped me. I love that pick. Henry's like what, 31 years old? Martinez would completely take over
Mhm.
sooner rather than later. It's a great
Yeah.
pick. Pick 202. I'm going with the Superflex format again, and I'm taking advantage of the quarterback position. And I'm taking Riley Leonard to the Seattle Seahawks. Got first round draft capital in this draft. And to me, I have my questions about Riley Leonard, but I don't have my questions about his rushing ability and the points he's going to get me with his legs, not just through the air. So I think that's what's making this a little bit easier for me because I am concerned about his passing ability right now. Now, going to Notre Dame, I'm hoping that we see some development this season. But at the same time, this is all for fantasy, and I know
Mhm.
he can get it done on the ground. Makes me feel a little bit better about this. So I'm going to take him at the beginning of the second round at pick two.
Yeah, I put Riley Leonard. I wanted to have some fun with this and gave him round one draft capital. Like I said already once,
Definitely made it fun.
If Bo Nix can get draft one capital, this guy really comes out and plays really well. I'm still a believer, so I had some fun here, and he did
Yeah,
get round one draft capital. So like at that
he
point,
did.
you
Right.
have to take him, and I think the opportunity after Geno Smith, I don't know what his contract is there. He would maybe get on the field with the third pick in the second round. I'm going to go with a receiver I really like, Nick Anderson, Oklahoma wide
Mhm.
receiver. It's funny because I put a YouTube video out, about him, and in that intro, I said that he reminds me of a smaller, CD Lamb. And here I give him a landing spot going to the Dallas Cowboys, getting round two draft capital going to the Cowboys is really, really good draft capital. And I like his skill set a lot. And you want to talk about a need. I mean, Dallas, that's all they talk about is, who's
God,
going to
yeah.
be on the opposite side of CD Lamb. So I'm taking Nick Anderson here with the third pick in the second round going to Dallas.
That's a great pick. I love Nick Anderson. Pick number 4 in the second round, I'm going to go with Ollie Gordon going to the Cleveland Browns. Ollie Gordon got second round draft capital in this draft. And I mean, Nick Chubb, I love Nick Chubb, but he's in the back end of his career and they love running the ball. I know they have weapons at receiver, but they're that that whole offense is driven by the running game. And knowing that Ollie Gordon can handle a big workload like we've seen coming up in another year where he's going to have another big workload, that could be a downfall because there'll be a lot of tread on the tires. But it is good to know that he is battle tested and
Mm-hmm.
ready for what the Browns like to do with the running backs. And the pass catching upside is just going to be tremendous. There are a few flaws that I want to see improve on this season. And we've talked about that in our breakdown. So go watch the YouTube breakdown of Ollie Gordon. But at the same time, I think this could be a really nice pick based on what the Browns like to do in the run game and what Ollie Gordon can accomplish. So Ollie Gordon at pick 204.
Yeah, he certainly got the workhorse frame. There's no doubt about
Yes.
that.
Yep.
So this is going to be a surprising pick for many, but I'm going to stick with my guy. And I really, really, a lot of people forgot about. I'm going to go with Juice Wells Jr. going to the Lions here with the fifth pick in the second round. Antoine Wells Jr. is kind of like the forgotten wide receiver of the 2024 draft class, 2025
Yeah.
draft class. So it's going to be my duty to keep his name in circulation until he hopefully stays healthy this year, and he's going to Ole Miss, should have a great season. But this guy is a versatile weapon, big physical receivers. I really like him, and I think the Lions is a great spot as well.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, he's forgotten name. I don't think people are going to forget about him after the third week of the
Mhm.
college season. I think he's going
Yeah.
to do fine. Pick 206. I am going with Isaiah Bond to the Rams. We saw what Puka Nacua could do. Cooper Cup is coming back. He's going to be healthy. I just think that Bond has that field stretch ability that they kind of also really like to deploy in that Rams offense. So giving Matt Stafford, who I don't know how much longer he has, but at the same time, I think Isaiah Bond is pretty quarterback friendly. I saw the movement ability, his ability to
Hmm.
come back to the ball. I like the athletic upside, and he's a deep threat, so he could play in many different positions and win. And I do like that. So I think in this Rams offense, I feel really good about taking him at 206, especially if anything were to happen with Cooper Cup. He seems to be getting injured a little bit more lately.
Hmm.
Isaiah Bond can fill in nicely.
Yeah, I figured he'd be the heir apparent with that landing spot.
That's
So
what I would think too. Yep.
yeah, seventh pick in the second round. I'm going with Trevion Henderson. Got draft capital here. I gave him round 3 draft capital going to the Raiders. All right, so I think Zamir White is a jag. I think they're just using him for one season. Even if he does produce, and he could take the majority of the in between the tackle physicality part of the running back group. Trevion Henderson might be that more back to get him outside, get the ball in his hands, and let him work in space a little bit more. So like the landing spot, and one of the top 5 back for most people in the 2025 draft class.
Yeah, I think they could even complement each other too if that's the case. So we'll see. Pick 208. I'm going with Ole Miss wide receiver Trey Harris. I like the size. I like some of the manipulation I saw within his release and route running ability. He's got good hands, good adjustment, can high point. So he could play really nicely in this offense. Terry McLaurin, I think, is coming up on age 30. I think he has an out in his contract in 2025. They just took Luke McCaffrey in the third round, and Jahad Dotson should come on this season. I'm expecting that. So it could be that Terry McLaurin moves on. They draft Trey Harris, and he just fills right into that role. It might take a year, and that's okay because I'm getting him later in the second round, and I can feel good about that upside once he gets the opportunity in this offense with Jaden Daniels now under center, which makes me feel even better.
Yeah, I like that pick. I mean, Harrison Wells, Jackson Dart, all big. If those 3 really shine this year, they're all
Yeah.
draft capital is going to go up. With the ninth pick in the second round, I went with Alec Ayomanor, going to the Chargers. So like the landing spot, like the size, coming off a big knee injury he did last year, came back, played. So I'm really excited to see. How he, recovers from, fully recovered now from his knee injury, but super explosive player last year. Go watch a film on this channel, his game against Colorado, one of the best second halves of football I've seen from a player. But big receiver, going to get draft capital. Gave him,
Mhm.
he was round 3 draft capital.
Round 3. Yeah. Yeah, I like that pick. That could be a lot of fun too. He's a nice playmaker. With the 10th pick in the second round, I'm going to go with Benjamin Urasek. I'm not sure how to say it yet. The tight end who transferred over to Georgia, going to the Philadelphia Eagles. Now he got round 3 draft capital, right? So that's right on that edge. But honestly, I
Mm-hmm.
love the skill set. I think he's a
Man, I
phenomenal
too.
talent. I think he could do really well in this offense. Dallas Goddard's there. He's getting on the older side, and I think his out in his contract is 2025 as well. I mean, we got spoiled with the tight end position recently with them producing right away. That normally does not happen. I'm fine with Benjamin sitting for a year behind Dallas Goddard. Goddard moves on. He becomes a starter in an explosive offense that I know you know all about. So I feel really good about this pick in the tight end premium league.
Yeah, that was a big snipe for me on here. I gave
Was
him
it?
an Eagles, yeah, because I like Goddard. I mean, and I love the tight end play, and he's
Payback
my
for Martinez.
yeah, he's my tight end one, right? So I was
Yeah,
thinking I got to put him on my birds. So good pick there. I love
I
that
love
pick.
it.
I'm going the
Yeah.
11th pick in the second round. I'm going to go with Nicholas Singleton going to the Minnesota Vikings. I
Mm,
gave him round 4 draft capital, so an early day 3 guy. Could sneak into day 2 if he has a good season at Penn State. I mean, the
yeah.
Penn State offense has been difficult to watch for 2 years. My son goes there. I watch every game. So I'm hoping with the new OC they have, I'm assuming he has a big season and really puts his name on the map. But I got to see some wow plays from this kid to get like super excited again about Nicholas Singleton, 5-star recruit coming in. Big expectations, just has not lived up to it. I'm hoping for a good season, but like the landing spot too. Aaron Jones, I think, is on a 1-year deal there, and that in playing inside on the turf, with a full opportunity in front of you. Nicholas Singleton here with the 11th pick in the second round.
Well, this based on opportunity, this could actually be a really big steal if he pans out with
Mm,
that opportunity that he's facing. So that's a good pick. With the last pick in the second round, this is kind of a tough one, but I'm really going with the upside advantage here and the speed opportunity of Barry and Brown going to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. My whole thing is I'm looking at what could happen with Mike Evans and Chris Godwin. Jalen McMillan should fill in that Chris Godwin role if they were ever to move on from Godwin. Mike Evans is getting on the older side, even though he produces like a maniac. So it's kind of iffy with Trey Palmer there and now Barry and Brown. I think they all have a very similar explosive, deep speed type of skill set. So it'd be interesting to see how it pans out. But the upside is just too tremendous for me to pass up and let him get into the third round. So I'd like to take him here and just kind of see what I can get. And if he pans out, then he'll be paying dividends for a very long time.
all right, I like it. So that rounds out the second round. So this third round, we're going to go through these players a little quicker, not give so much in depth. So at the
Mhm.
301, I took Luke Lachey going to the Colts. Really coming off, an injury from last year. We'll get a full season of him playing at Iowa this year. We know what we love about Iowa tight ends. He's big, physicals, got the physicality and the ball skills. So like this pick, and I don't think there's really anyone there that's super exciting with the Colts, and playing with Anthony Richardson is a huge plus as well.
With pick 302, I'm gonna go with he got round 2 draft capital, so
Yeah.
it made it a little bit iffy, but it could be, a lot of upside here, and it could be a steal. I'm going with Jalen Milroe to New Orleans Saints. I mean, they need a quarterback that's gonna be developmental. I know we, saw some stuff in Spencer Rattler, but Milroe's upside of his rushing ability and passing ability, if he develops this season, could be great. So I'll be really happy I took him here.
Yeah, that see another big year for him as well. So
Yeah.
another guy that needs a big season. We just talked about his running back is I'm going to take Drew Waller here with the third pick in the third round, and I gave him going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. Russell Wilson, I'm thinking is a 1-year rental. If they don't make it to the playoffs and maybe make it deep into the playoffs, maybe they'll re-sign him either way. Maybe sign him for 2 years, let Drew Waller come in, sit for a year, maybe a year and a
Mhm.
half, and really learn behind one of the better quarterbacks in Russell Wilson. So I gave him also round 2 draft capital here going to the Steelers.
Nice. With pick 304, I'm going with Donovan Edwards to the Kansas City Chiefs. I mean, they love pass catching upside with their running backs, and that's exactly what he is as of this moment. I'm not sure how he is as a pure runner yet. Hopefully, we see that a little bit better this upcoming year. But Edwards with the upside in this high-powered offense with Pat Mahomes could be really special. So I got him at 304.
Yeah, at the 305, I'm going to double down on the running back position as well. And I'm going to take Devin Neal going to the
Mm.
Cincinnati Bengals. Devin Neal is probably someone I'm not as high on as a lot of other people. I know there's a lot of people that are excited about Devin Neal. I'm surprised he didn't declare last year. So that's a little bit of a red flag. Coming back, super productive Kansas running back. Got the size. He's got some movement skills, got some good pass catching ability. Love the landing spot for the Bengals as well.
That's a good opportunity too. I am going at 306 to with Jackson Dart. I mean, I know they who was it from FSU that they took in the later rounds, but Aaron Rodgers to me, I think this might be just his 1 year. He's going to try to go for the Super Bowl. They need someone to develop in the back end, and Jackson
Yeah.
Dart has shown nice development each and every year that he has played, and this could be a very special year for him. So it would be nice to have a developmental guy in the background, and I feel really good about that in the Super Flex League.
Yeah, I think I think that's what NFL franchises have to start doing. Start taking these guys early and letting them sit
Yeah,
for a year or two, and just
yeah.
let them develop slowly. With the seventh pick in the third round, I'm going with Tez Johnson, really twitchy, explosive wide receiver from Oregon, going to my Philadelphia Eagles. Now I'm hoping Anaya Smith ends up being the slot receiver this year, but Tez Johnson would be a great slot receiver for the Eagles, which is still the position of need, if Smith doesn't pan out. But man, this guy's got movement skills. He's just an explosive player, a guy you want to get in space, get the ball in his hands and go into my Eagles. It's what the Eagles need, is some just explosive, take it to the house kind of receiver.
Yeah, they just put up the top 100 for college football 25, and he is the fastest receiver in the top 100. So that'd be a lot of fun. I'm at pick 308. I am going with Torrey Horton to the Pittsburgh Steelers, and it's just that speed, athletic upside that I love from him. He's been a huge producer in college. Hopefully, I get the same thing in the NFL. We shall see, but the upside of his athletic ability is just too much to pass up here.
Yeah, that's the one guy I got to watch a little bit more film on.
Mhm.
But he's been getting a lot of draft buzz lately. With the ninth pick in the third round, I'm going with Tyler Warren, Penn State tight end, going to the
Mm.
Seattle Seahawks. Really like that landing spot. And again, another Penn State player, but I think this guy could be one of the better tight ends in the class. Super athletic, good with the ball in his hands, good with the ball, navigating through the field. Love what he brings to the table. Great opportunity in Seattle. I don't really believe, but Noah Fan is there. Is that who their tight end one I think right now
No
is?
offense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and he's not done anything in years. So I went with
Mm.
Tyler Warren here. It's tight end premium.
Yeah, Warren's been pretty impressive. I like that pick. At pick 10 in the third round, I'm going to go with my guy, Antonio
Mhm.
Williams out of Clemson, the receiver, going to the Vegas Raiders. And I just took Shedeur Sanders as the quarterback, and he's going to need some help. And Antonio
Mhm.
Williams is a very good route runner and separator when he is healthy. And I'm banking on him showcasing that this upcoming season. So that makes me feel really good about getting one of my guys in the back end of the third round. That makes me happy.
Yeah, good slot receiver. Really looking
Yeah.
forward to watching him this year as well. The 11th pick in the third round, I went with Mitchell Evans, another tight end going to the Cincinnati Bengals. Again, a tight end premium league coming off an injury. So it's going to be a really, important season for Mitchell Evans, but he's got all the athleticism and movement skills that you're looking for in a tight end. The landing spot plan, on that team with, the supporting cast is just a great landing spot as well.
It's a really good landing spot. With the last pick in the third round, I'm going to go with a guy at LSU, and that's going to be Kyron Lacy, who has yet to really showcase himself, but he showed glimpses last year playing with Malik Neighbors. Carolina Panthers have selected Jonathan Mingo and Xavier Legette. They have a type. This is a different type. He's actually more of what I think is a nuanced route runner that they need, and I think he could do really well in this offense with Bryce Young really starting to come on, and we're getting good reviews from him. So Kyron Lacy hopefully has a really good season, and I can justify this pick in the back end of the third round.
Well, we're gonna find out. We got college
We're gonna
football.
find
What
out.
do, what do we got?
Yeah.
Another month and a half, something like that. So there you guys got it.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah, that's our mock draft, and which is good. We want to put players, in front of you that maybe you've heard a lot about these players if you're like really interested in watching this stuff and listening, and into the college football scene. But if you're a dynasty guy out there, just coming across this and want an early look, again, and listen to the podcast too for you guys who haven't really watched a lot of film on these guys. I mean, these were the top players I feel like we were going to have to choose from in the spring, but there's going to be guys that emerge, come down. So, if you're watching this on YouTube, leave a comment. What did you like? Who do you think should be in it? Who shouldn't? What landing spot did you like? It's all good fun, man. So it's good times to do
Blast.
that midsummer just to get a mock draft out there, because that's what we do. That's what we do, right, man?
Yep.
That's
That's
we're
what we do.
scouting these 2025 players.